Welcome. My name's Michelle. I'm with Olive and 2U Studios, and this is video number 3, our final video for our Sankaku knit along. I'm here again today with Mary from M&M So Charming. We've been through video 1. We've talked about a unique way to do a long tail cast on so you never run out of yarn. Talked a little bit about mosaic knitting, and then in video 2, we worked on the joining in the round. There's a little bit of an overlap there using a cable needle, about the importance of using those stitch markers. And today, our concluding video should be probably really short. We're going to talk a little bit about wearing the Sankaku and about that bind off. So welcome. Thanks again, Mary, for being with us. You're wearing your Sankaku. Tell us all the things.
I do have it on. I left my stitch markers in. This marks the decreases as we talked about in the last video so that I didn't have to keep, I need 8. How many do I have? Well, I only have 5. How many now? I only have 6. We all start counting as we get towards the end, hoping we're almost there. We're almost there. So This just tells me I don't have to count because I've got 8. And when you get to 8, it's time to do the bind off.
Perfect. So we're going to talk a little bit about the bind off, and it is an I-cord bind off. Is that right?
It is. And I don't think I've ever done this before, or I don't know if there's different kinds of I-cord bind offs. It was super simple. And I really like that it gives it's not a stretchy bind off, first of all. So if you're doing socks, you don't want to do this on the cuff, but it gives it a little structure so that it's not quite as floppy. And
it's a beautiful finish. It's a beautiful finish as well.
It's not as easy to see with this particular yarn, but actually, I'll show you the front. It almost looks a little bit braided.
It does. It definitely has
and
that.
There's actually this extra little, oops, can you see? You can't really see it, but you've got like little teeny holes, almost like a little bit of lace right at the top of the bind.
Can you hold it up a little bit? There you go. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. So a really nice detail that it offers. So tell us a little bit about that bind off and how to manage that.
So once you get all the way done and you've continued until you have 51 rows in total, if you're reading along on your pattern, which is all of those eight stitch markers. You don't have to keep counting 51 rows. And then you're going to do the bind off. Now, she does tell you in here that the bind off can be adjusted a little bit depending on what kind of bind off you use. If you use the I-cord bind off and you knit to gauge and you did everything exactly the way she did it, which, come on, that really doesn't always happen. You're going to have a neck opening of 27 inches, but you can adjust that. You can go up a needle size and it'll be a little looser. You can go down a needle size if you want it less than, you could see on me, 27. I wouldn't have wanted it any smaller than 27. But you have a little bit of flexibility on that.
And that would help to adjust the drape as well, right? In terms of how you wear it.
And she says in her instructions, in her picture, it's a 32-inch neckline. And she's also like this big. So you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
So she didn't, her instructions were not necessarily what she did in her sample. She left her neckline a little bit bigger. But if you want a tighter bind off, you use a smaller needle. I mean, we kind of all know that. So the I-cord bind off, again, very clear in her instructions. You were going to cast on 3 stitches. So I'm going to do that just onto the left needle.
So you've got your stitches on the needle. You cast on an additional 3. Is that right?
Correct. So you still have all your stitches on your left needle.
Okay.
And then you're simply going to knit 2 and knit 2 together. So those are the 3 stitches you just cast on. You're going to knit 2. And then the knit 2 together is one of your cast ons and one of your original stitches. Correct. And then you're going to slip them all back onto your left-hand needle.
Okay.
So now your yarn is coming off right here. You've got stitches without yarn, but that's okay. And then you're still just going to pull that yarn over behind those stitches, knit 2, and then you've got a little gap.
Right.
That's the knit 2 together. And then put them all 3 back on your left-hand needle.
Okay.
Can you see that you've got a little gap here?
Right.
These are the 3 that I just knit 2 and knit 2 together. That gap gets closed up with a knit 2 together.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's your yarn,
That's where the
not
whole
at the end. So this is what can confuse new knitters. Like, well, wait a minute, my yarn is here. What about these stitches right across them? And that's what snugs it all up.
And that helps, that forms that hole that you mentioned.
So the knit 2. Well, anytime you knit 2 together, you're going to have a hole. So there's the little gap.
Yep.
And I'm going to knit those 2 together. So each time I'm 1 less stitch on my needles. And then I'm going to put those 3 back.
And do it again.
And then I'm going to knit 2 and knit 2 together, and that'll close up the gap. And then you get this, whoops, bound off edges right here.
Yep.
And it keeps going. Where you have to just kind of knit those last 2 together, and then just like normal, cut your end, put it through the loop, tighten it up, and weave in your ends. You will have 2 ends to weave in if you've done this correctly, and that's all, because you've carried those 2 yarns through your mosaic knitting together, bound off with 2 strands. When you cut your yarn, you have those 2 at the top, and you have the 2 at the beginning.
Easiest weaving in ever.
And then you block it. And she has, which I always appreciate, she gives you a schematic for blocking as to sort of what the size should be. And I like kind of having that sort of go-to. Like, do I aggressively block it? Do I not? Those are all personal choices. But you go from there. Like, okay, yeah, I need to be more aggressive with this. Yarn is a wonderful thing. I mean, it'll pretty much go wherever you tell it to go. If you have those mats and those pins that you have convinced us all that we need, and we do.
Yep, you can make it behave, whip it into shape. So in terms of this pattern, because you have created the beautiful one that you're holding that you were wearing at the beginning of this video, tell me what you love about this pattern.
So I've been a knitter for a fairly long time, but I'm not necessarily a real aggressive adventurous knitter. I'm not an all knitter. I'm not necessarily a big sweater knitter. As I've said many times, we live in Florida, so some things are over air conditioned, and so that's where my shawls come in wonderfully. But I liked the fact that there were no sleeves. I was never on Sleeve Island. I liked the fact that I have done some mosaic knitting, and I really enjoy it with practically no effort at all. I'm a quilter, and in our M&M So Charming company, we talk often about easy sew, big wow.
Yeah.
So this is an easy knit,
yeah.
Wow, as far as I was concerned. The mosaic knitting was a great technique for me. That as soon as I saw mosaic knitting, that's what drew me to this pattern. I wanted to use poppy because all those little nubs that add just a little different look to things. The I-cord bind off was a surprise to me. I didn't realize the cable join was even part of the instructions when I started, and when I got to end the round seamlessly. It's not a big pleat, but it's one row that overlaps, but it's just enough.
I'm a
and
and I'm a huge proponent. You know this if you've watched any of our videos of having a pattern that you largely feel comfortable with, because again, not super adventurous, but you get to kind of step into and learn a couple little new techniques that are not overly onerous or difficult to learn, but you get to walk away from that pattern having felt like not only something or accessory, but you also learned a little something to throw in your knitting bag of tricks. And I think that this one definitely offers you enough variety of those new techniques that you can walk away feeling pretty good about yourself and how you spent your time.
And
so
when you were talking about gift knitting, it's it's a one size thing. So, you know, as far as if you're knitting something for someone, it's, you know, we all talk about who's knit worthy and who's not in our life. And we all have those people, let's be honest.
Yeah.
This could be those in between people. It's 2 skeins of yarn, and it really did go pretty fast. I am an evening TV watcher knitter, and this is the very beginning. And if you have the pattern, you know she does have a great chart. I prefer the words to a chart because I don't want to have to do all the counting. Yeah. I would rather read the words that say knit 33.
Right.
You know, slip 1
kind
of thing. But the chart I did go to a couple times when I thought I made a mistake. And then I wasn't sure within my 34 stitch over that or slip. And I could see very quickly on the row what it was supposed to be.
Oh, good.
So that I could then correct it.
So it provided you with that little bit of redundancy to kind of help reassure or
balances kind of thing, and keeping me on track. And I do print a pattern and I write on my patterns when I'm working on them. And this one I didn't actually have to mark up too much. So I'm ready to go again with my next one.
Yay.
Sometimes I have to throw it away and print it out again because I make lots of notes. And, you know, especially if I am a fairly monogamous knitter, but sometimes I'm not. And if I put it down and I don't want to have to spend, you know, a whole day knitting, unknitting, reknitting, trying to figure it out, and then go forward, because I will have put it back down if I had to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad that you would want to use Facebook group. That I know that the kits have gone really, really quickly. Everybody's been excited about it. So I can't wait to see all the projects.
And it all came from my wanting the rest of the world to start doing 2-stranded long tail cast on.
Which again is a fantastic
it's a game changer.
Absolutely. Abs 3 video series and all the contributions that you make to the Yarn to Use. We're so grateful for you. If you haven't yet found our Yarn to Use Facebook group, we are on Facebook. We're very robust, very dynamic, no drama, no politics. Check out the link below so you can join the Yarn to Use as well. Olive and 2U Studios, customer service is our #1 priority. So if you have any questions at all, great, thank you so much. And we will see you in the Yarn to Use. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.